Spaces, as well as a video cast. So I'm holding my phone for that reason. If you see me holding, why is he holding his phone? We're doing a live X Spaces at the same time as a video stream. So I'll be able to take some questions from, obviously, as many questions as possible from the audience and as well from people online. But as you can see, I'm obviously here in person. This is me, not a clone of me. And the reason I'm here in person is because Pennsylvania is so important to the future of the world. So, you know, you show what matters by your actions, not your words. And my actions are: I'm here, I'm in Pennsylvania, and I'm here for a very important reason. Which is. I can't emphasize enough that Pennsylvania is, I think, the linchpin in this election. And this election, I think, is going to decide the fate of America, and along with the fate of America, the fate of Western civilization. So. The Constitution to be upheld. And you know what? I'm being told at times that these are like right-wing values. I'm like, are you insane? There's literally the fundamental values that made America what it is today. A lot of people in this room. Yeah. So, and you know, I actually lived in Pennsylvania for 3 years, by the way. I'm no stranger to the state. I lived in the city for 3 years. I went to school here. So, you know, so I know the state. I'm not some, you know, just arrived situation. You know, I've been here, spent 3 years of my life here. So, it's a great state. Love it. You know, and yeah, yeah, it was awesome. But you know, the thing is, like, I was talking to friends of mine who, like when I went to Penn, it was very dangerous at the time, but everyone thought it would get better would get better as the years went on. You know, one of the issues was like students would get killed from time to time, and that's pretty bad, obviously. And I was talking to someone who recently graduated from Penn. They said, actually, it's worse. And I'm like, it's worse? What the hell is going on? You know? It's like, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, the reality is that if someone is a violent criminal, you know, where they either are unable to control their violence or they like it, if you do not incarcerate them, they will hurt people. That's what it comes down to. So if you don't put hardened criminals in jail, they will kill people. That's what it comes down to. And that's, unfortunately, the situation we have here is that the Democratic Party will not put hardened criminals in prison. And so they roam free, and they prey upon you, and your kids, and your family, and your friends. This is insane. How can we be, you know, the most powerful country in the world, and it's not safe to walk around our cities? What the hell is going on? Yeah. I mean, Soros, honestly, misanthropic. You know, for someone who has, you know, sort of claims to be doing good, but actually he is not. You know. He is tearing down the fabric of society. So terrible. Yeah. But I think it's just unbelievable that like, you should be able to feel safe walking around American cities. And it's not just, you know, Philadelphia has a challenge. New York has a challenge. every major city in the U.S. Like my mom lives in New York, for example. 3 of her friends have been assaulted on the street this year. It's like, and it's getting worse. And now, when she takes her dog for a walk, she has to stay, inside of the building so she can call for help if need be. This is not the future we want. And if we get 4 more years of this, I mean, we're going to be fully Mad Max, And it's like, oh, it's nice to watch a Mad Max movie, but we don't want to be in the Mad Max movie, okay? So yeah, and then the whole border thing is just insane. I always want to try to figure out what is the truth of the matter, what's really going on. So on the border situation, it's like, is it real or is it not real? So I went there in person, and I just literally live streamed what I saw. And our border looks like World War Z, okay? It's like zombie apocalypse, it's insane. So this is, if you don't have a border, you don't have a country. Yeah, I mean, we're just saying, like, we have to have real borders, or if you don't have real borders, you don't have a real country. And obviously, as someone who's an immigrant, I'm pro-immigrant. I just want to make sure that people who come here are going to be assets to society, and that they're going to raise our standard of living, I think the sort of sports team analogy is a good one. So, like, let's say you're a pro sports team, you want to win the championship, then, well, you have aces on your team, obviously, because they help the whole team win. So the same is true for immigration. If we have this sort of equivalent of, like, Kobe Bryant or Steph Curry or LeBron or something like that, they want to join the team. Like, absolutely, of course. Do you like winning? Yeah, okay. But if they can't play basketball, they shouldn't be joining. So that's real important. And and then something that doesn't get a lot of attention is the fact that the federal government is spending America into bankruptcy, which is crazy. It's sort of, and that's really what leads to inflation. Is that when the government spends more than it brings in, that's what causes inflation. Yeah, so it's just a pernicious tax. So there has to be we have to radically reduce the amount of government spending so that we don't rack up a debt that is impossible to repay and drive the country to bankruptcy. So, I mean, just basic stuff, really, These shouldn't be controversial topics. It's just like normal. Common sense, exactly. And you're seeing all these attacks on freedom of speech, and they're like attacking me for freedom. It's like, yo, that's the First Amendment, like literally the first one. Tells me it's a high priority. And the reason they had the First Amendment was because the countries people came from, if you spoke your mind, you'd be imprisoned or killed. That's why you have it. That's really important. And then the right to bear arms is also really important. That's there to protect, I mean, the Second Amendment is there to protect the First Amendment. So, as soon as the government can disarm the people, they can do anything they want. And we've seen this in one country after another. They take the guns away from the people, then they do fake elections, and then the people try to protest and they just get shot. That's what happened in Venezuela recently. They had a fake election. Maduro lost, like massively lost, like 70% loss. And he's like, "Oh no, I won." And and everyone's like, "Oh, you didn't win." There were big protests in the street. But the thing is that Chavez, when he came into power, took away everyone's guns. So now you're facing, soldiers with assault rifles, were you going to throw some sticks at them or something? Use finger guns? It doesn't work. So Maduro, even though he lost the election, is still in power. And that's the kind of risk that we face. So we got to do everything possible to protect the Constitution. And I think this is, yeah. So for all those reasons, that's why, after thinking about it hard, it was very clear to me that Donald Trump has to win this election. It really does. Yeah. And so I think the most important thing that you can do, and what I'm asking everyone to do, is make sure that you're registered to vote, that and then vote early, and then talk to your friends and family and everyone you know to make sure that they're registered to vote, because Monday is the deadline for voting registration. And honestly, this is if there's ever a time to be a pest with your friends and family, this is the time. Yeah, this is the time. Everyone you know, everyone you meet, everyone you run into, register them to vote, and then get them to vote immediately. And we only have until Monday night to register to vote. So the next basically 3 days are essential. And I think we see this election decided in Pennsylvania by, it could be 10,000 votes, it could be 1,000 votes, it could be 10 votes, it could be some very tiny number. So every incremental person is a huge difference. I haven't been politically active before. I'm politically active now because I think the future of America and the future of civilization is at stake. So. Yeah. So, yeah, please go all out registering people. We have 3 days. Let's go. Anything you possibly do. So with that, I'm happy to answer questions or take comments from the audience, and yeah. Thank you.
We'll form a line.
Does this mic work?
We'll do one question per person, okay?
Yeah, I have a mic. Yeah. All right.
Elon, first of all, welcome to Ridley Township,
Thank you.
Delaware County, and welcome to Ridley School District and our beautiful high school.
Yeah.
Because you made this your first stop, we'd love to make you an honorary Ridley Raider.
Thank you.
Student shirt, football jersey. Sports is big in Ridley, big in Delaware County. This is Musk's 67 counties in Pennsylvania. We got to turn every one of them red.
Great. Sounds good. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah.
First question is, what can all of us here, everybody in this auditorium, everybody watching the live stream, what can we do now to make sure we get Donald Trump across the finish line in Pennsylvania and everywhere else in this country?
Yeah, it's fundamentally for the next 3 days, just everyone needs to focus on registering friends, family, acquaintances, everyone you know. Because if you're not registered by Monday, that's why I'm being sort of repetitive about this and really emphasizing this. Anyone not registered by Monday evening, or if they're registered incorrectly, their vote won't count. They won't be able to vote. So we got 3 days. It's all about registration, 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 registration every single day. And like I said, this election could be decided by a handful of people. It could just be that a little bit of extra effort on voter registration decides the entire future of civilization. So that's why I'm saying, man, this is, if there's ever a weekend to spend going hog wild on registration, this is it. Yeah. Whoa!
Thank you so much for being here. It means so much, and I think it's really in line with your character as I've come to know you from listening to you speak in interviews. In addition to voting for Donald Trump, what can the average citizen do to help train AI to be truth-seeking?
Well, I think definitely, publicly pushing to ensure that AI is truth-seeking and is not sort of politically correct or which means factually incorrect. That's a big deal. Like, just speak out on social media, and certainly complain loudly when other companies attempt to essentially program their AI with a dystopian San Francisco, Berkeley philosophy. And if you want to know where that philosophy leads, just walk around the streets of San Francisco. But be careful, because do not get killed by a violent drug zombie, because they're all over this downtown SF. It's insane. So you can see where does that philosophy lead? And unfortunately, I think a lot of the AIs are being programmed, at least implicitly, with that misanthropic dystopian philosophy. Yeah.
Hi, Elon. Right here, on your right.
Sorry, with the lights in my eyes and stuff, it's hard to see, so. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Jasmine. I'm originally from Malaysia, and I've been here 20 years. I came here legally. I see a lot of immigration and a lot of immigrants who came here legally. They all support Trump, and they want a strong economy.
Yeah.
They want, family values and all that. And oh, by the way, I came here because my daughter goes to school here. She told me to come over. I used to be really, really active in promoting, Trump campaign 4 years ago, and I got burned out, and I'm so frustrated. And it's all because of the cheating. So what are we going to do with that?
Well, there is, I think, some amount of cheating that takes place. It's hard because they've, when you have mail-in ballots and no sort of proof of citizenship, it becomes almost impossible to prove cheating is the issue. So a lot of people in Dempsey say, no, and I'm like, you've made it impossible to actually prove that there's cheating. But statistically, there's some very strange things that happen that are statistically incredibly unlikely. So, there's always this sort of question of, like, say, the Dominion voting machines. It is weird that I think they're used in Philadelphia and in Maricopa County, but not in a lot of other places. Doesn't it seem like a heck of a coincidence? So I think we should, in my view, we should only do paper ballots counted. A lot of the last thing it's too easy to hack. It's too easy to add just one line, and it's really difficult to hack paper ballots. So, in-person voting with proof of with ID, which, by the way, every country has. I mean, like almost every country that has democratic elections requires in-person voting with voter ID. This is weird. It's super weird to not have that. I think that's the only way to effectively address fraud. Given that we are today, I think we just need a very big margin of victory. If the margin of victory is big enough, then as they say, it's got to beat the cheat. Yeah. So that's it.
Elon, first off, you're my hero, and I love your sneakers.
Thank you.
So if you do choose to be the head of the Department of Government Efficiency,
Yeah, Doge.
yep. What do you think about we stop giving money to other countries such as Israel, Ukraine, and we stop funding forever wars that most likely is going to the deep state anyway?
Yeah. Well, I think in general, the amount of waste that happens with the federal government is really staggering. It's a staggering amount of waste of taxpayer money. And if we're, for any given expenditure, we have to say, well, what does this do for the citizens of America? Like, how is this good for the people of America? It's their money. Like, for some weird reason, a lot of people in the sort of, state or whatever, the politicians, they seem to forget that the money being spent is your money. And if it's not being spent in a way that is beneficial to the American people, it's a misuse of the funds. So, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of money that's being spent where sort of illegals are getting more benefits than citizens. And, like, what the heck is that? That doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
Hi, Elon. So as we bring government spending and look inward to our country, I am a government employee. I care about innovation and efficiency. With your vision for a Department of Government Efficiency, what can we do? How can we support you? And also, how can we spot the needs of people in North Carolina? The body count is abnormally underreported. What can we do to press on that and to support people within our country?
Sure. Well, I do think that government efficiency is not simply about reducing the size of government, but making sure that there are incentives for excellent work. So if somebody's, whatever you incent will happen. So if you have incentives for excellent work, and by the same token, if someone's not doing excellent work, they're exited. Just like normal. It's really what happens in a properly functioning company is that you reward, or think of a sports team. The players that are doing well, they get rewarded, and the players that are not doing well, they exit the team. And that should just be how it works. And I think that'll have a profound effect on the effectiveness of government, because so whatever you incent will happen. So if the incentives are aligned with saving people in North Carolina, then that's what will happen. But if you have a sort of a failed response to the disasters, to the hurricane disasters, and no one even gets fired, well, okay, what do you expect? No one's going to take action. So people if there's a track record of failure, you have to exit the people who failed. Otherwise, people will look around and say, well, I guess I don't need to do anything because, nothing bad happens to you, even if you do a terrible job and people die, which is insane. So.
Hi, Elon. Hey, Elon. Can you tell us about your trip to Israel?
Yeah. It was a very moving trip. So, it's a very moving trip. Definitely one of the toughest regions to, and how do you, what set of actions result in the greater good in Israel? I mean, obviously, you cannot have people who, if they want to slaughter everyone in Israel, you got to stop that. There's no way. Those people either need to be they killed or incarcerated, or they will simply try to kill more Israelis. This is what it amounts to, obviously. And they want to kill Americans too, by the way. Generally, Israel is referred to as the little Satan in America. We are the big Satan. That's what the Ayatollah calls us. So, so I think, I think a lot of what's happening there is people are being taught to hate, in Gaza from when they're children. They're taught to hate, and that's really the thing that needs to stop for there to be, long-term peace. Hopefully, is that you just cannot have kids be taught to hate from the moment they can talk. That's fundamental. So, yeah. So, so I think there's it's kind of a three-step process there, which is I've mentioned one has to do the difficult thing, which is to yes, eliminate Hamas, exactly, and then and then I think also going forward, anyone who's teaching hatred in Gaza or elsewhere, they need to stop doing that. That can't be acceptable. We have to stop. Kids being taught to hate America in America. So. And then the third thing that's also very important is that there has to be economic prosperity in Gaza. So this is very difficult. It's like how do you sort of, after terrible things have been done, you then have to sort of, you have to bring prosperity to Gaza, and that's the thing that will ensure, provided kids are not taught to hate and there's long-term prosperity, I think there will be peace in Gaza. And we see an example of that after World War II, where with Germany and Japan, they were defeated. They obviously did terrible things, but changed the education system. And unlike World War I, we helped rebuild Japan and Germany. The Marshall Plan. Instead of exacting vengeance, America insisted we're going to help rebuild Germany. We're going to help rebuild Japan. And now they're our allies. And there's been no war ever since.
Hi. Welcome to Delaware County. And I want to say congratulations on the successful redocking of your...
Thank you.
Thank you. And
Thanks.
I'm going to go...
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it was a great week. We had the Tesla sort of cool autonomous car and robot stuff, which I think is going to be really, really great. I think, who wouldn't want their own personal C-3PO R2-D2? It'd be awesome, So I think that we're going to build some awesome like helper robots and autonomous cars, and then this is a good day. Fate is smiling upon us here. Thank you, and we caught the rocket, which is just totally nuts.
Yeah.
Amazing. You see that rocket booster? It's the largest, heaviest flying object ever made, and it just got caught by Mechazilla arms. Kind of like, Karate Kid but bigger. Catch on the fly with the chopsticks.
So
yeah.
my question is, do you think there is a shadow government behind the Biden-Harris administration?
I mean, well, let me put it this way: it's not Biden. We know that for a fact. Okay. The dude has like barely got 2 functional neurons, so it's like, and he just seems to be at the beach a lot, and
so
he's obviously not in charge. So I mean, when the polls started going low on Biden, he was saying, oh, he's staying in the race, but then I guess the real powers that be told him he's not. It's like.
So who is it that's behind him? We know Obama, okay, but Obama...
I mean, I'm just as curious as you are. It is, as far as I can determine, there isn't any one sort of puppet master. It's more like there's 1,000 or, I don't know, a lot. But I mean, I'd like to talk to them to understand more about, listen, what are your goals, puppet masters? I'm just curious. I mean, maybe I agree with some of them. It's possible. But it's just obvious that Biden's not in charge. It's obvious that Kamala's not in charge. I mean, they just replaced the Biden puppet with the Kamala puppet, very obviously. And it's, you can tell, like, if the teleprompter stops working, then the puppet breaks. And it's like, oh. the puppet just starts looping because the teleprompter broke. I don't have a teleprompter. I can just talk like a normal human. So I mean, I think it's not, from what I can tell, it's not one puppet master, it's many, but, you know, interesting to see the crossover between the Epstein client list and Kamala's puppet masters. I bet there's a lot of names that appear in both lists.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Diddy too. Diddy did it.
Elon, my name is Gregory Stenstrom. I'm from here, Delaware County.
Hey.
Two people who know me. In my hands, you asked earlier you'd like to go to a hand count. We have 3 federal suits right now. One, because we know for a fact, and we have proof, that the election code in the machines in Dominion and Harlingen Civic are fraudulent here, right here in Delaware County. Secretary of State Jonathan Marks admitted this in court last week.
Wow, he did?
In court, on a transcript.
I didn't read about that. For some reason,
Well, of course you didn't.
For some reason, the
How many people
the
here know
legacy
me?
media forgot to report about that one.
How many people here know me? Quite a few.
I mean, I usually keep up with these things, and I did not know that.
Well, we're also co-defendants. Leah Hoops and myself, also from Delaware County, we're co-defendants with President Trump and Rudy Giuliani in a defamation suit where we proved over 952 days that there was massive election fraud in 2020. We proved it in court. It's a matter of public record. We also have the proof that the election machines that are currently being used are fraudulent. We have videos right now that I can show you of ballot boxes being stuffed here in Delaware County, Montgomery County, Chester County, and across the state.
Okay.
We have that video. We have submitted this to the 3 federal cases. We have a SCOTUS case right here.
Yeah.
And the SCOTUS case is just simple. It asks the DOJ to rescind their policy not to investigate election fraud.
Which seems crazy.
We are being blocked.
Yeah, I mean, this
blocked.
DOJ is doing a great. Don't know what. Just take the J out of the name. You know, Department of Injustice.
What I'd like you to do, Elon, is I don't want to take too much time, and I know this is kind of a shock, but we have a book here, The Parallel Election. I have the Supreme Court case.
Yeah.
And I have the federal suits here. We've called your people. We've called the people who are supposed to be helping. We have hundreds of people right now ready.
Yeah.
They're out taking videos. They're training poll workers. And we are not getting support from many of the people in the first front rows here. And their pictures, if you want to know who they are in this book.
Well, let's. What I recommend is to post content on the X platform, and then people can argue and say it's right or wrong, but you know, if you have videos or evidence, then post them publicly on social media, and then people can you know, judge for themselves. Exactly. Okay, great, excellent, thank you. But. Anyway, let's not get contentious. This is I think, you know, teamwork makes the dream work here, if whatever the situation, I don't want to dissuade anyone from voting. It's very important to vote. You know, any actions with respect to voting machines and whatnot, we certainly want to put them under intense scrutiny, but. It's nonetheless, everyone needs to vote, and like I said, if you leave here with one thing, the goal is to register as many people as possible to vote. That is the goal, and we only have until Monday night. That is the goal. One mission, bam.
Hi, Elon. Thank you for being here. First, I want to thank you as somebody with a spinal cord because not many people are. I won't take up the time, but 18,000 people a year are injured, so thank you.
Absolutely, and I'm hopeful that Neuralink can do a lot. Actually, initially providing the ability for anyone who's lost the brain-body connection to be able to interface with their phone and computer faster than a human with working hands, which is, I think, really cool. But down the road, I think it'll be possible to restore a whole body functionality. If you have a Neuralink in the motor cortex that then shunts past where the neurons are damaged in the spine, I'm confident that long term you can actually restore people's ability to walk and use their hands.
Well, I would love. I appreciate it. I would love to work with you on getting support around here, but
yeah. In fact, one of the things that and to be fair, the FDA has been within the context of their current rules has been actually quite supportive. They've given us sort of express lane, because they've seen the quality of the work and the sophistication of the technology. They have given us sort of fast track approval, but still our progress is limited by regulatory issues, and that's the same thing that's happening with SpaceX. Is like SpaceX can build a giant rocket faster than the license can be processed by the government, which is insane. So, I should mention, like, one of the most fundamental things about me supporting, and maybe the biggest showstopper of all for me, in terms of why I feel Donald Trump must win, is that we have to have sensible regulations. We have so many regulatory. Last time I checked, we have 428 agencies. There's more than an agency a year has been created since America was a country. Like, we've got almost twice as many agencies as years that America has been a country, which means an agency has been created. There's like sometimes two new agencies per year created, which is just madness. So America is being smothered by overregulation. It's like I call it slow strangulation by overregulation. That's yeah.
Well, I would like to ask about natural gas and lithium. That's kind of what. Pennsylvania is rich of natural resources and fracking gas and lithium, which could benefit not only our state, but our entire country. However, many residents, and I have to be honest, along 350 miles of Pennsylvania, had real challenges like eminent domain and the destruction of water sources, such as what happened with the Mariner East pipeline. How can we ensure that while utilizing these resources, we work closely with local governments and residents without the federal government overreaching and forcing land from homeowners? Effective communication with citizens and their involvement in these decisions is crucial. What role do you see for technology or private industry in making sure that this process is transparent and fair? Because believe you me, lots of people were forced with eminent domain and aquifers poisoned all across Pennsylvania, including our veterans. And this has been a real problem since 2016. So we want to support our workers and use our gas, but we need to be careful of what we're taking from people who've lived here, families for centuries.
Certainly, I believe in sensible regulation. So, but what I see happening is that there are all sorts of there's a mountain of rules that actually don't benefit people, and then there's missing rules that do benefit people. So it's this bizarre Kafkaesque nightmare of regulations where ultimately the good of the people is not served. And we get regulatory delays for things that are fake. Meanwhile, bad things are allowed to happen simply because someone filled out the paperwork and gamed the system. So that's what I mean. It's when I say the Department of Government Efficiency, I mean addressing it's addressing any issue which is not in the interest of the people, and we do need to, at times, fight against what large corporations are pushing for, because some of them are very short-term, and some large corporations do bad things. Corporations are like people. Like, some people are good people. It's like, some corporations are good, some are sort of meddling, and sometimes some corporations are bad. And it's just like people, is the way to think of corporations. So we've got to stop the corporations that want to do bad things. Make sure they're doing things that are in the interest of the people. And then corporations that want to do good things, they shouldn't be slowed down by smothering regulation. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, and I think these things should be done very much. Sunlight is the best disinfectant. Yeah.
Hey, Elon, how are you? I'm Rob. These are two tough acts to follow here, but my question is a little more simple. What are some of the first courses of action you plan to take as the head of government efficiency if Trump gets elected, and do you have any areas of concern in particular?
Yeah, well, that's a good question. You know, I definitely, you know, the focus right now is making sure that Trump wins the election. Otherwise, it doesn't matter. And I think if Trump loses, we're going to see, you know, our cities are going to get less safe. The border's obviously going to be wide open. We're going to see government spending go ballistic. It's inflation go nuts. It's going to be just bad on every level. And like fundamentally, if the current trend of you know, strangulation by overregulation is not turned around, we'll never get to Mars. It just will be illegal. And then we'll be a one-planet civilization. There won't be a space-faring civilization, and Starfleet will never be real. And we want Starfleet to be real. Yeah. So, you know, now I've had quite a bit of interaction with the government, you know, because SpaceX is the biggest NASA contractor, actually. Does a lot of work for NASA. And I'm a big fan of the agency, by the way. But there's, you know, there are expenditures that don't make a lot of sense, that are wasteful. And we need to put a stop to that. Honestly, there's so much government waste that's going on that I would call it a target-rich environment. Like, it's hard, like, in every direction. There's this just mad waste. And I think simply, if people simply know that, well, if they waste a ton of taxpayer money, they're going to get fired, that will immediately improve the situation. Immediately. It's like, yeah, it's just literally, and I think, but actually it's going to be both carrot and stick. It's like, so if a government official is very effective in spending your money, because taxpayer money is your money. So, if they're effective in spending your money, they should be promoted, they should be rewarded. And if they waste your money, or do something that's basically corruption, they should be fired, obviously. You know, they have a duty to spend your money well. Yeah.
Hey, Elon. As a veteran who was deployed because of a lie that was told 21 years ago.
It's a lot of lies, man.
Yeah.
This is a lot of lies.
So, with Harrison Laws running on a campaign to make disinformation illegal, what would you say
disinformation just means information they don't like.
So what would you say?
Yeah.
So what would you say to an administration and a candidacy that is spreading lies or disinformation about the troops that are currently in combat, my friends?
Yeah, can you believe that was said?
And Hunter Biden's laptop, the president's decline, and so on.
Yeah, I mean, during the you know, Trump-Kamala debate, she said there was no active duty soldiers out there. I'm like, I know a whole bunch of them. What are you talking about? That's a shameful, terrible lie. Shit. And she wasn't even fact-checked. And I'm like, are you kidding? I mean, yeah, thank you. Yeah, and I just like to say, for the people, for the Americans out there who are serving in dangerous places right now, unlike what Kamala said, thank you for your service to the country.
Elon, thank you for stepping up to help America when you don't have to. Like, you could be on an island right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I you know, I could be, you know, Yeah, I have a lot of jobs. No, it's true. I mean, there are, a lot of people I know who are on a yacht, sipping a Mai Tai, whatever, in an island, that is a thing I could be doing. I can't do that if I think the future of civilization is at stake, which I do.
One, do you know Alberto Congawala? He's the system manager for Europa Clipper.
Oh,
which you
but
sent,
that's a cool mission, by the way.
Which
really...
you sent into space on Monday.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. In fact, that was a mission where I talked to SpaceX. It's like, every mission's important, but this mission's extra important. Yeah, because I'm like, I want to. I think like you, like I think most people, I want a future where you look forward to it and you're excited about what's going to happen. That we're going to learn new things. That it's going to be better than the past. And a future where we're a spacefaring civilization, and we're out there among the stars, where Star Trek is real. That's exciting. Life can't just be about solving one problem after another. There have to be things that inspire you.
Hi, Elon.
Yeah, that's a hard one to build, but at some point we should build a warp drive. But even without the warp drive, the Starship, the rocket made by SpaceX, is capable of building a city on Mars and a city on the Moon. That's what it's designed to do. But we're being massively slowed down by regulatory molasses. I'll tell you a crazy thing. We got fined $140,000 by the EPA for dumping fresh water on the ground, drinking water. It's crazy. I'm just an example of just how crazy it is. And we're like, well, we're using water to cool the launch pad during launch. We're going to cool the launch pads so it doesn't overheat. And in an excess of caution, we actually brought in drinking water, so clean, super clean water. And the FAA said, no, you have to pay a $140,000 fine. And we're like, but Starbase is in a tropical thunderstorm area. Sky water falls all the time. That is the same. So, and it's like, we didn't actually, there's no harm to anything. And they said, yeah, but we didn't have a permit. We're like, you need a permit for fresh water? Are you, what? Yeah, it's just totally crazy stuff like that. And then they said, if we don't pay the fine, they're not going to process any of our future applications. So they're like, this is the kind of crazy stuff we're dealing with. Yeah. So.
Hi, Elon. My name is Sarah. I'm from Philadelphia. I have a whole team here. First of all, I'm really excited about your recapping of this rockets and your Hyperloop program. We actually, at this critical moment, have a proposal to turn the blue states red quickly. I would like to sincerely to accept our protocol. The proposal. We want to have some further discussion with you, and really thank you for putting everything you have, risking everything you have to support President Trump to take our country back.
Well, thank you. Sure. Thanks. Thank you. Hey. All right.
Yeah, we shake the hands. Last week, I also fly to the Austin to want to find you. So glad you are here. Welcome. I used to have a business 17 years here.
Great. All right, sounds good. All right. So, yeah. Well, I'll take a few more questions and then wrap it up. Yeah, so go ahead.
Elon, hi, my name's Kevin, and I grew up right in Springfield, close by, and I want to thank you for all you've given up. You were the media darling, and you've sacrificed everything for freedom right now, and I want to thank you for my family and everyone. I also want to thank you. I want to thank you for all the lives that have been saved with your full self-driving, and all the future lives will be saved with that. That is one of the bravest things you put. Thank you. I use that every day.
You're most welcome. I think it will save many lives and many serious injuries, and also give people their time back, so they can, they can just be in their car and do whatever they want and watch, movies or whatever they want to do. It'll be great.
I absolutely agree. My question for you is, and this is a very confusing thing in Pennsylvania, do you think that we should, as a voter, vote in person, wait until voting day to vote in person, or do a mail-in ballot right now?
I think you should do you should vote immediately right now. Yes.
Can you explain real quick why?
Should you have a pen? I don't know if does somebody have a pen or something? All right, nice to meet you. All right. Yeah, so where were we? Oh, yes. Vote, yes. Register and vote early. Yeah, I would say vote immediately. Yeah, you're welcome. All right, well, I'll take one more question and then we'll call it a wrap.
Elon, this is Matt here. Elon, this is Matt from East West IT Services here, and I'm the chairman for the Pennsylvania Chinese Coalition. We have more than 40 Chinese groups and also different kinds of associations. And I'm from Philadelphia. We are the team, and I want to know, could you give us Pennsylvania swing state, especially in Philadelphia, there's a lot of Democrats. So could you give us three top reasons why people should vote for Donald Trump?
Sure. Well, the reasons that resonate are going to be different depending on who you're talking to. But I think the ones that resonate for me at least are, we want safer cities, we want a secure border, we want sensible government spending, we want support of the Constitution and the right, freedom of speech, right to bear arms, and that's what Donald Trump is going to do. So. And the other thing I think is maybe a concern is that I think if there's 4 more years of sort of the Kamala sort of puppet regime, they're actually going to legalize so many illegals in the swing states that there won't be swing states anymore, and this will be the last election in that case, and we'll be a permanent one-party state like California. And in California, California, which is mind-blowing, they passed a law banning voter ID for any election in California whatsoever. Now they're going to try to do that nationwide, In fact, if they can, they will do it nationwide. If the Dems win, they'll ban voter ID nationwide. So that's why I think if Trump doesn't win, this is the last election. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.